You have Mariano. It's our liaising office. The Sudan government, they don't have any presence here. The process itself is IOM, you are the one doing it. You will not doubt. I doubt you will not doubt. Your situation is not like the people in Northern Sudan. Egypt. Northern Sudan. Or even in America, or any other country. Because there they have their own presence. So you have every confidence that this country can provide you conducive conditions for you to exercise your right. So you are absolutely different from the rest. Among the 8 countries that we have identified, you are actually the best. Because this is the only country where we have only government of Southern Sudan liaising office. Now, I'm talking about the challenges. When we formed the commission of the South, I will talk to ABA later on, the process started. Now the registration started. All of you know now, I think we report from Carter Center saying the registration started very well with a very limited problems. In the South, it's going very well. In the North, still we are having a problem of low level of registration. They have extended the period now for 7 days. I think it's going to end on the 9th of, on the 8th. So this is a very good news. At least the process now is peaceful in Southern Sudan, or in Sudan generally. We are not seeing any problem, but I will talk about some of the challenges later on about the. So this is a good indication, but we should not be happy at this level of registration. I think the real work is ahead, especially for the voting. And that's why I have been telling the Referendum Task Force and the rest, it is important for you to see those people who registered. You follow them with information. Either information for them to come and vote later on, but even giving more information about the process. So at least this is a good news that the process is going on very well. One of the problems facing the Commission, so I'm talking about the independence of the Commission. We have every confidence that this Commission shall deliver. And we should assist them so that they can be able to deliver. David is here, and we are happy. It's called David who? David Garwich is here. All of us, we should be working together with him, because he's going to be the eye of the Southern Sudan Referendum Commission. But he should work with you, the community leaders, and you share with him also. And it happened. He's from among you here. It's not a strain. So at least we are confident about the process. One of the challenges facing the Commission is the issue of funding. You know, these are the tools sometimes people use in order to weaken the independence of the Commission. It is good the national government is trying its level best to avail resources. The South is even very committed. You have heard what our president said, that he is even ready, that the South, to cover all the costs of the Commission. But even for you, if it is necessary, forever Southern Sudan is committed to contribute to ensure that the funding is available to the Commission. So it's a struggle that's going on, and we have a very clear indication that the government of Southern Sudan is going to avail adequate resources to the Commission. Other challenge facing the Commission issue of date, the 9th of January, 2011. That date is a very critical date. We know there are some voices talking whether the referendum is going to be postponed or not. Although one is happy about the extension of the 7 days, that 7 days should not in any way go to affect the 9th January 2011. For the people of Southern Sudan, any change of that date will remind them of West Sahara, Polisario. You know Polisario, what happened? But at the same time, for us to respect that date of the 9th, we have to support the Commission so that the Commission will be able to really deliver on time. But we should be aware also that the law, the Southern Sudan Referendum Commission Act, 2009, gives the right of postponement to the Commission in consultation with government of Southern Sudan and national government. So even if the Commission would say that we want to postpone it, the government of Southern Sudan must accept. We are seeing a problem also, that you set the date of the 9th of January. You make the life so difficult for the Commission not to do the work, so that when 9th of January comes, the system is so poorly managed. And that by itself can hurt the choice of the people of Southern Sudan. We are aware about that one. But for you to know also, the law allows the postponement, but within a certain understanding. The other challenge facing the Referendum Commission, the referendum of Southern Sudan, is issue, how can we ensure the process is free and fair? Free and fair. When we were with the National Congress Party, when we were discussing the formation of the commission, well, they came to us, well, as SPLM, you know, this law that we passed in the assembly is not good enough. I think we need to review this law and to amend it. They said, you know, the way you conducted the election in the South created a problem for us. And we are becoming doubtful whether this process is going to be free and fair. So you did your election very well in Northern Sudan. But it is the same election, huh? They said, yeah, we have to amend the law, particularly the issue of the security of the referendum in the South. Because we said in the law that the security of the referendum in the South will be Southern Sudan police. They said that one is not good enough. We should amend that law in order to allow the national police to work together with the police of Southern Sudan, so that we can be really comfortable with this, with the results. We said, friends, even the law up to now, we did not even test it. And you want to dismantle it, Hasi? There's no way we can accept that one. If you have a problem about the confidence, let us agree and call the United Nations to come and monitor. And it was good. I'm one of the people who wrote a letter to the Secretary General of the United Nations, asking the United Nations to have a special mission, monitoring mission, to monitor the conduct of the referendum. This one is very important, and actually the Secretary General responded positively, and they formed monitoring commission or team or mission headed by the former president of Tanzania. And we are so happy about that one. You know, here in East Timor, the East Timor referendum was conducted by the United Nations. The results immediately after the announcement was taken to the Secretary General, to the General Assembly meeting of the United Nations. So East Timorese, they immediately after the result got discussed by the United Nations, they got the recognition by the member state. Southern Sudan is going to have the same. The report is going to come directly to the General Assembly. And that report is going to be very important. Now about that report itself, whether it's free and fair. This time, some of us, we believe that we know more than others. I know the North may have their own intentions because they want only unity. So the temptation to play around the thing is more in the north. But we, even the southerners, we have a problem. We want a shortcut. You know, sometimes we believe our people in the village there, they don't know. I was telling to our colleagues in Sydney or Brisbane, I said, you know the problem of the South? Everybody's aware about it. في village, في Murah, في Brisbane, في Melbourne, حتى في داخل womb of the mother. أجينا ذاته، الما ولده ذاته، البا ولده بيلقى إشارات ذات من بتاعه. I am saying we should not tamper with the choice of the people of Southern Sudan. What we should do, we should avail the information of the people to take the choice. But we cannot act on them. And the moment you tamper with it, the moment you tamper with that, that is the report I'm talking about. The report that will say, in actual fact, the people of Southern Sudan hurriedly wanted to massage and to produce the results without the people's views. I think the burden is on us how we can make sure that this referendum to be free and fair and not to dictate. Because it is exactly what you are going to do if you tamper or even force somebody. Come on, I know Kalamta unity. Huh? Unity, why you will shut him down. That is precisely the point. That is precisely the point. How can we ensure a free and fair referendum? If among you here there's a unionist, it is his right or her right to express it. Because if you tamper with that choice, for somebody wanting a unity, you will be killing the very choice of the people of Southern Sudan. It is better you sit down with that person, convince that person, rather than making the life so difficult. Taman, I could see even in Melbourne, Natija, I'm not good message Natija Talabaden. I don't want to sound like I'm predicting what you are going to vote for. But let us imagine, about 51 voted for unity and 49 voted for separation. Then there's no deal. Because by doing so, you are actually killing the very spirit. Ajama, the choice, as much as we say that we agreed in the law, everybody has the right to express his or her views, whether it is unity or separation. And let us respect our views. And I think it is very simple. It is just like if you register and you don't vote, you are actually harming the people of Southern Sudan. Yes. But at the same time, if you become over passionate about your choice, I don't know what is in your heart, but if you are becoming over passionate about your choice to the level you want to finish with the other one, it is exactly that you are harming the choice of the people of Southern Sudan. I know it's a very complicated, but I want to send it to you like that one. The good service of the people of Southern Sudan is to ensure everybody, as a citizen, as a human being, to exercise that right freely and fairly. And you will be serving the people of Southern Sudan. Keep it to yourself, and it's very important. Sometimes it is even healthier to allow people, even in your discussion later on, in your discussion, I don't know, the Southern Sudan referendum, I suspect that you could have a forum where people can talk for unity and for separation. Please, you tolerate this country, you learn from it tolerance and respect for the views of others. It may be very bitter, but that is itself, that's the process you need to enter into. We don't want a forum or a meeting or a symposium, just only, just you come and talk about the separation only. You make those choices just before the people. And I think that's very important for you to focus on that one. I'm saying this one because this referendum is going to be monitored heavily by the international community. I was talking with Honorable Kevin Rudd, and I said it would be appropriate for you if you can send observers. Besides the United Nations, each country is sending observers. Leave alone we have Carter Center, we have African Union, we have EU, we have all of them. They will be in the south, and they will be monitoring the referendum. But even Northern Sudanese civil society will go there. Civil society from Northern Sudan, they should go and even make a propaganda about why unity is better than separation. Would that by itself is to test you how the process is going to be free and fair. هناك بس زول يتكلم عن unity بس يوم التاني ما يشوفه ما بكون مشكلة. My that one is going to be a problem. We should really allow them even to talk. We should allow them to talk. So this about how can we make sure that it is free and fair. But it is true that people in Northern Sudan, they would like to ignite that feeling itself so that we behave irresponsibly. Yeah, they will get us so we behave irresponsibly, and then they will use it later on against us so that the process is not free and fair. But we know them also. If they use that one in order to deny the right of the people of Southern Sudan, they will be really playing with the fire. And as much as we are committed to be free and fair, we don't also people to undermine the choice of the people of Southern Sudan. But we know there are people who are looking for that. So this is one of the challenges facing the referendum. Other issues that facing Southern Sudan referendum challenges, issue of ABA. When I said earlier in the commission that the share of Southern Sudan shall be a nominee of the National Congress Party, and for ABA to be the nominee of the SPLM. When we came for the actual formation of the commission, Galilena, you SPLM, please go and look for your nomination. But the person you are going to nominate must be an angel, Malak. Because ABA is complicated. So we want an angel to become a chairperson of the commission. When I was angel for Sudan, Malak. We presented not less than 50. They said, no, these people are not good enough. Many challenges. But there are certain aspects I want to highlight them with you. Being one of the people participating in the drafting of the law itself, but even in the CPA, we had a bit of an issue. When we finished the law, we're having a problem of how to implement the law itself. And particularly the issue of the formation of the commission. You know, the commission is consisting of 9 people. And these should be people of a certain person with integrity, with a certain quality. It took us some time in order to agree on the chairmanship of the 2 commissions, the Southern Sudan and the ABA Referendum Commission. We agreed with them that they will nominate the chairman of the chairperson of the Southern Sudan Referendum Commission, and for us to nominate for a BA chairperson. We continue with the Southern Sudan referendum, but we agreed also that we are going to have 5 members. From 9, we are going to have 5 members. And then they will nominate 3 beside the chairperson. And that makes the South a majority in the commission. We even discussed about the issue of the Secretary General of the commission. Now, When we started forming the Southern Sudan Referendum Commission, they sent us a list of people, many people, including Southerners. But we selected this person we are talking today, Khalil. He's somebody, he's a unionist, there's no doubt about that. He's a unionist. But let me tell you about the commission itself. The commission, this is the one going to oversee the registration and even the voting and the announcement of the results. They will take the decision through consensus. In lieu of consensus, if there is no consensus, they will take the decision by simple majority. And the simple majority is what? 4.5. مش كده؟ لازم يكون في صادر كده طلعوا تاني. Well, there are a lot of risk these days. But the fact of the matter that a simple majority, the commission is the one going to declare the results of the people of Southern Sudan. And you have Southerners, 5 of them. And the Northerners, only 4 of them. It is not Bashir going to declare it, nor President Salva. Sometimes you may see some people saying, if the borders are not demarcated, there shall not be a referendum. If what not, there shall not be a referendum. That is not. This commission is the one going to oversee and declare the results. They will not look for a consent from President Bashir, nor from President Salva. So you are having a simple 5 people as a majority. I know Khalil is somebody with a lot of integrity. And he's very clear about that, he's a unionist. But he said, when I met him, he said it is is about 75. Or what's remaining with him is the pride. And he said he's so committed to protect the constitutional rights and the achievement of the people of Southern Sudan. What happened, he might have differed now with some of our friends and our partners. And you might have heard what is happening in terms of even talking very bad about him in the media. Some elements started attacking him personally, because they saw him as somebody with a high level of integrity. I think it is very important for you, the Southerners, to know this one. We have a hangover also. A hangover that to the level we become so distrusting everybody. And not knowing how much you have made a change in the minds of the people. So if somebody I know, if something that is not legal, he will not do it. He would even resign. So this is about the commission itself and the decision-making process in it. Now, what are the challenges facing anyhow, what happened, we have agreed about the share. We differed some times back about the issue of Secretary General. Secretary General of the Commission is nothing but administrator. I know we created a lot of issue out of it. It is true. Politically, we agreed with the National Congress Party that the Secretary General will be a Southerner. I was in a meeting with Dr. Riek when we were discussing this issue. But you know our people there, the way they keep their promise, okay? But the most important people, because they wanted actually to drag and to derail the process. The good news is that we have now 2 assistants to the Secretary General. And these 2 assistants are Southerners. The one in the south and the second one in the north. All Southerners. And we have the deputy chairperson of the Southern Sudan Referendum Commission is a Southerner, who is the one overseeing the entire operation, referendum operation in the south. Besides the Secretary General, the Secretary General, the Assistant Secretary General in the north is the one also overseeing the one of diaspora and Northern Sudan. So this is very important for you to understand the structure of the commission itself and your confidence in this commission. There's also another one that I would like to highlight. We talk about the diaspora. We're having a problem, and I think I talked to you last time. Should we have only the referendum to be exercised by the people in Southern Sudan? Or should we have the right for all the Southern Sudanese in the outside Southern Sudan? A bit of a dilemma. Because our choice was to have it inside Southern Sudan. But we're worried because all of you here, you came because of the war. And you have really your obligation that you want to express your views. And at the same time, we were trying to say, is it possible to have it for the diaspora? Because we are not sure about the North, but it was not possible. And that's why we agreed any Southern Sudanese, wherever he or she should exercise this right. But we said, for it to be exercised outside Southern Sudan, this is where we said in the diaspora, it should be IOM. Well, some of you should not, I know. IOM is an international organization, independent, is focusing on issues of the war-affected people. And I know some of you, you might have been carrying a bag with Amda when you are coming to this country. You cannot now today to say, no, والله IOM ده والله في مشاكل في ناس كده خش فوقه وفي ناس كده نكون معاهم ولا even if حتى ولو بقى a Northern Sudanese in charge of IOM here, you should not fear. Because that's the very organization having it from other countries. Here, we don't have even Sudan embassy. You have Mariano. It's our liaising office. The Sudan government, they don't have any presence here. The process itself is IOM, you are the one doing it. You will not doubt. I doubt you will not doubt. Your situation is not like the people in Northern Sudan. Egypt. Northern Sudan. Or even in America, or any other country. Because there they have their own presence. So you have every confidence that this country can provide you conducive conditions for you to exercise your right. So you are absolutely different from the rest. Among the 8 countries that we have identified, you are actually the best. Because this is the only